Greetings from BLK Max Hospital. I am Dr. Priyanka Suhag. So today we have a very interesting case of a 36-year-old woman P1L1 who had presented to us with a heavy menstrual bleeding and severe dysmenorrhea. And the imaging revealed a very focal adenomyotic lesion of 1.5 centimeter on the anterior uterine wall. The patient was desirous of uterine conservation, and after counseling, she opted for a very minimally invasive microwave thermoablation. So the procedure we had planned was under general anesthesia. We were using ultrasound guided procedure also and simultaneously laparoscopic guidance. As a preliminary investigation, we did a pre-op in the OT itself. We did an ultrasound to confirm the location. We did a hysteroscopy to find if everything was fine in the cavity. And once inside the abdomen, we saw that the uterus was bulky and there was an anterior wall adenomyotic lesion, which we also simultaneously checked on the ultrasound. Here we can see the endometriotic spots on the uterosacral ligament, and we can see the adenomyotic lesion on the fundus of the uterus. So, using the laparoscopic and the ultrasound guidance, we first inspected the abdomen and then inserted the microwave antenna percutaneously. We can also do it through a 5 mm port, and the probe was advanced into the center of the adenomyotic lesion under the continuous ultrasound visualization, taking care to avoid the endometrial cavity and avoiding any serosal breach. Once we confirmed the findings on the ultrasound, the ablation was also started and the energy was set according to the size of the adenomyoma to 35 watts for 3 minutes per ablation cycle. Now, in the real-time ultrasound also, we checked for the classic hyperechoic zone around the antenna tip, indicating effective thermal necrosis. And care was also taken to allow for a 5 mm margin around the lesion while avoiding the overheating of the serosa. So, if additionally needed, we can use overlapping ablations to ensure that the complete coverage of the lesion is done, and we maintained active cooling intervals between the cycles to reduce the thermal spread. So, here we can see on the ultrasound our probe is placed properly and the ablation cycles as are being done will be seen as white areas on the ultrasound in the adenomyotic areas. So, after the energy delivery, we have to be very careful in withdrawing the probe under vision. So, laparoscopic inspection of the uterus is done. So, here we can see the settings, which is usually according to the size of the adenomyosis. So, if our size was 1.5, so the energy to be delivered was 35 watts for 3 minutes. And this is the cycle that we performed for this patient because our lesion was only 1.5 centimeters. So, here we were using 17 gauge needle of a length of 20 centimeters, and we focused on the findings and the necessity settings that were for that lesion. So, post-operatively, if we can see the blanching, and you can see that there is no breach or any charring of the serosa, and minimal to no bleeding is observed. Uterus is usually gently irrigated and inspected. We do not require any suturing in this as the probe entry site is very small, and post delivering the energy, we also check that the size of the adenomyosis is considerably reduced as compared to the previous one. So, once we are confirmed that our site has been completely ablated, we remove the ports under vision and close our fascia of the 10 mm port. The patient tolerated the procedure well with minimal pain and blood loss. Microwave thermal ablation, it is a very good procedure. It offers a uterus sparing minimally invasive solution for focal adenomyosis, especially in a woman desiring symptom relief and uterine conservation. It ensures precise localized treatment with real-time monitoring and minimal drainage to the surrounding healthy